All right.
Wait. Okay. Oh man.
Are you ready?
No.
Okay. I understand, but we're gonna film. We are filming. Okay. Ramen Bowl in 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, welcome back to the Ramen Bowl, where every week there's a new flavor of the week, and this week's flavor is ramen. Actual ramen.
Xin chào mọi người quay lại với kênh YouTube Tô Mì. Và mỗi tuần cũng như là hôm nay sẽ là ra một video về một hương vị mới cũng như là một chủ đề mới, và hôm nay á hương vị sẽ là về giới tính, chi tiết hơn đó là về chủ đề những người phi giới tính.
What the hell did you just say to these people? Translate.
The introduction, bro.
What was the introduction? What did you just say? Because it couldn't have been what I said.
No. So basically, yeah, just welcome to the Ramen Bowl, where every week is a new flavor, like a new topic, and this week's topic is going to be about non-binary.
Yeah, it's gonna be about non-binary people. First of all, I wanna introduce you guys to my best friend Bear, whose pronouns are they them. How long have we known each other?
Since like, I don't know.
It's been almost 20 years, almost.
It feels like.
It feels
like it's been that long.
It's been at least 15.
Yeah.
It's been at least 15 years.
Hot minute.
Yeah. So we've known each other for a really long time. We both have gone through the gender figuring out kind of thing. If you guys didn't know, my pronouns are she, they, which means I use she, her, and they, them pronouns. It's a rolling pronoun. They only use they, them pronouns. So when did you start thinking about, like, your gender in the first place?
Not too sure. It's just always been something, I guess, always been something at the back of my mind, and I've just never given it so much thought. And throughout all high school and even after high school, there's just been an ongoing journey of trying to figure out what feels right.
I do remember in high school you did explore with the gender thing, because you had Han. There was Han, and that was more of a male persona.
Strictly male persona.
Yeah. And I remember that's not just like a persona, it was who you were that day. So it kind of felt like it was almost gender fluid at that point. Would you think it was like gender fluid then?
I thought about it, but maybe this is gender fluid, or maybe I just want to completely embrace the male persona part of me and just be he, him.
Yeah.
But then after a period of time, dressing up as Han and just portraying myself as a male, it just didn't feel like it felt right, but not at 100%.
That makes sense. That's how I felt about my own like gender understanding of my own gender. Like I tell people that when it comes to my gender, my sexuality helped me figure it out, because after I understood my sexuality and like what pansexual meant, I was able to kind of explore what does gender actually mean. Like if I'm attracted to all genders, what are all genders? And that helped me to kind of break down what gender actually meant. And once I figured that out, I realized that like even though my alignment that most people would figure is female, I don't always feel female. And being a black woman, it's very difficult. It's a very different experience, because I identify as black woman. I do identify as a woman who is black, but I don't identify as a woman, period. Like there are experiences that I've had as a black woman that will shape who I am forever, and they shape my experiences as a person and what my own social standing in society. But woman isn't necessarily how I feel on the inside. So yeah, I guess that makes sense. So like what kind of hinted you that something was like something about your gender alignment didn't feel right and you wanted to experiment with it?
And kind of similar to you, like my sexuality had a lot to do with it too. Because I started out, I knew I was never straight. It's just that I never knew there was a term, any other terms besides straight. So growing up, that's what I like people see me as, like, hey, she at the time, she's straight. But I know I was never straight because I was always attracted to people of the opposite gender. And then I, found the term bisexual, and I thought that's what I was throughout all of high school.
Same.
But then I realized that doesn't quite fit.
Actually, I think you were the first person I came out to as bisexual. And when I came out as bisexual, it still didn't feel right when I said bisexual. Like, it was like, yeah, sure, I mean, yeah, guys and girls, but it doesn't feel complete, like a complete answer.
Right, like it fits better than straight, but it's not quite there yet.
Right. And then when I figured out pansexual, I was like, okay, pansexual seems like the closest to. I won't say, like, because of the fact that, like, sexuality and attraction is so fluid, I can't really say that I always feel pansexual is the right term. It's probably just the closest right now. In the world that we have right now, that's the closest word that we have for it. So what made you realize that the term non-binary was the right choice for you and not like gender fluid or gender queer or anything?
I'm not sure. I can't really remember when I decided that, hey, this is the correct term to describe how I'm feeling and who I am. But I know, especially growing up Vietnamese, that has a lot to do, like my cultural, how I was brought up and my cultural upbringing has a lot to do with me always feeling kind of out of place. Like, and I'm the oldest in the family.
Yeah.
So I was brought up as a boy, but expected to still keep a female role. That's
nature versus nurture kind of messy. Yeah.
And it just messes with my head growing up all the time. Like, if I'm supposed to be head of the household, supposed to be a role model for all my younger siblings, why am I still being restricted to certain female roles and expectations? So just over the course of the years, trying to discover myself outside of all the cultural pressure and expectations, this fits. Like, I'm not quite male, but I know I'm not female.
Right. How do you explain it to people who are Vietnamese? Like, when you are, like, your family, like, I know you said you had to, like, figure out the terminology for it.
Yeah, because our culture isn't really...
I'm sorry, y'all. We had technical difficulties, but I fixed it. Anyway, so how do you explain this to your family? Like, how do you talk to Vietnamese people about being non-binary?
So I actually haven't. I mean, my siblings know, but my parents and other elders in my family don't really know.
How do you keep... Okay, so y'all all live in the same house. How is it that all your siblings know and your parents don't?
Because it's kind of like they'll use my pronouns, like they, them. My mom doesn't see any, because she doesn't speak English well.
Oh,
so she doesn't really pick up on that. And I'd like to explain it to her, but I'm still trying to navigate this part of me.
Yeah.
In relevance to my culture.
What is the word for non-binary in Vietnamese?
Phi nhị giới.
What?
Phi nhị giới.
I'm not gonna be able to.
It's
It's gonna be on the screen. Because I'm not gonna try to pronounce that. Yeah. So you came out for non-binary. When you came out non-binary, it was like Pride Festival.
It was like a day or so after the Pride we went to.
Yeah. What made you feel like that was the time to do it? Like, I needed, or like you need, this solidifies it for me.
Just, I don't know, I guess just that was my first Pride, and just being there surrounded by the community, it just felt right.
Yeah. How did you explain this to your siblings? Like, I know Sakura is like well, she's not young, but she's kind of young.
She's young, but she's very open. She's the one, I didn't even get a chance to bring it up to her. She's the one who came up to me one day out of the blue. Hey Bear, what are your pronouns? On the way from me taking her to school, and we just had a whole conversation about it.
Oh, that's decent. That's awesome.
Yeah.
How'd you explain it to the older ones, though?
I just told them like, hey guys, I'm non-binary. My pronouns are they them, and they're still. I mean, they've gotten better at it now, but they were struggling with switching my pronouns. My youngest sister is the only one who immediately picked it up and has called me nothing else since.
Wow. Good job, Sakura.
Yeah, I was like, oh my god.
I think because of the fact that I have rolling pronouns, I do tell people, like, I'm open about telling people, like, hey, my pronouns are she, they. But because it's more familiar to use she, most people use she for me. Like, I've told my family, I can't say that I've told my grandparents. I've not. But I've told my sister, and I've told, like, close friends of mine, and I rarely ever hear someone call me they, them, unless they themselves are non-binary. Like, that's the only time I ever hear someone call me they, them. Or my partner. My partner is very good about using both. And most of the time, he uses they, them for me. But, like, it's kind of like, while you're not wrong, my pronouns are she, her, too. It would be very nice to also hear they, them in the same breath. In the same way that people say she, her. And it's like, I recognize that you maybe have said that, like, yeah, I understand and I'm accepting of it, but it's like, but you don't use it because of it's easier for you. But this is my identity for me. Like, it's easier for you to just say she, her, but for me, this is my identity. And I get that it's easier for you. But, like, I don't want to make it easy for you. This shouldn't be easy for you. This transition is also, for me, I want to be she, her, and they, them at the same time, in the same breath. So I guess that's, it's kind of like my figuring out. I think I officially figured out, or like officially like solidified that I was non-binary, I want to say like a month after you did.
Yeah, I remember it was relatively close. It
was close, and I think it was because I had so many other friends who were also non-binary that it became to the point where, like, what are you trying to figure out? Like, you know that what this term means. You very much are accustomed to it. You know that you're non-binary. And I was like, oh, I think I am non-binary. And that's really what it came down to. And I was like, I think I'm non-binary, and I'm still, like, coming to terms with it. Like, just recently, my partner had to remind me that I technically do have a dead name. Like, my Chanel is, like, yeah, that's my name, and I still use it in professional manner, but, like, I'm Channy. And technically, Chanel is my dead name?
Technically, yeah.
And I never really think about it that way. Do you plan on telling your Vietnamese family?
I would like to, but I don't know how I go about it. Like, when coming out, I had to do research myself. Like, how do I explain this? Like, if I were to tell my mom or my aunt or uncle, like, how do I explain I'm pansexual and non-binary?
We had more technical difficulties than we would like to explain. What were we talking about? Right. The Vietnamese thing? Yeah. So telling your family, you told Sakura. Sakura was astoundingly very receptive.
Yeah.
Brought it up herself. Your siblings don't give a shit.
We do. It's just,
I think because they are also from we're very close in generation. They're kind of like, it's whatever you want to do. Oh, your parents don't know.
Yeah.
Well, it's not like it's hidden from them. They just don't have an understanding of it yet.
That, and they just kind of don't really care to ask.
I don't think they know to ask.
And that's kind of part of why I'm not trying to bring it up, because how are they, even if I brought it up and I explained to them and say, best case scenario, they understand, they're like, okay, we'll start calling you by your proper pronouns. As far as I'm aware, there's not really there's neutral terms that they could use to refer to me as their child or whatever in Vietnamese, but as far as I know, there's not really like a they, like something of that nature to refer to me as.
Oh, there's no way to say like my pronouns are they, them.
Yeah. When I tried looking it up on the Vietnamese forums, there was an article that said we pretty much just combined two words. So "gay" is usually for like an older female, like an older sister type of thing. So "gay," and then "an" is for male, and you just combine that together and it becomes "jan." So "jan" is technically the they them. So but I don't know how I feel about them, because "jan" also means lime. I'm a lime. I'm a sour lime. So I haven't. So really...
you use the other one instead, the non-binary.
I don't know. It's confusing. So like even when I'm online, I'm talking to other Vietnamese people, I refer to myself, like if they have to call me something, I tell them to call me "an." So like the male term, because like I'd rather resonate with that than being called a female.
That makes sense. I feel like if they refer to the male part, they're at least acknowledging that your gender is not cis.
Yeah, so
they at least know that you're not cisgender.
That's one step. That's one step closer to where I want y'all to be.
We're gonna get there, but we're gonna first start with trans. we're gonna start. First of all, I do want to note that if you are non-binary, you are trans. So anyone who has dated you is gay.
That's what I joke about with my partner.
That's my favorite joke. Just knowing our exes is my favorite. It's my favorite joke. Because they're gay now.
Yes.
So yeah, it's coming out with like, in Vietnamese. Mm-hmm. That's still a work in progress because there's not really a large community for that.
Yeah.
There is a large community for black women, like for black non-binary women, black non-binary people. Again, it's really difficult to explain to someone that like I am not a woman, but I am a black woman. Like I'm not one of the girls, but I'm one of the girls. You know what I mean? Like I'm not a man, but I am Miss Ma'am. I don't really know how to explain it, but like you'll get it. Like black women understand. Black non-binary people definitely understand. I'm not a girl, but I'm one of the girls. That's really what it is. So you did tell how did you tell your partner, Tyler?
So I came out.
Because he's gay too.
And on social media.
Pause. You didn't tell me first.
No. It was.
So okay. No, keep going.
So I came out on social media.
Okay.
But like prior to this, on every one of our trips, like all our videos and stuff, and even between our texts, we refer to each other as they, them. So it's not like it's news to him, because he knows.
Oh yeah, we do.
That we have been referring to each other with those pronouns. So he's asked me about them, but it just I never officially said yes. It was an official come out. So I came on social media, and then he saw it, and then we just had a quick discussion about it. He's like, okay, cool. It'll take me some time to get used to it, but cool.
Okay, cool. I'm just, you didn't even tell him. You just told everybody but him.
He's he's on there. I just have a very hard time telling people things.
We're gonna get better. I told Micah first. I told him after I came out. I came out. Well, you know what? I did the same thing. I told social media first. But you know what? Different circumstance, okay? So I told Micah, and he was just kind of like, dope, all right. He said, like, I acknowledge that your gender, what your gender is, but it doesn't change who you are to me. And I was like, cool, dope. Yeah. How did you tell, I know you told me, did you tell any of our other friends?
Yeah, both those.
Please? Yeah. I'm pretty sure he did not think twice about it.
He was confused, actually.
Really?
Not because he was just confused because he thought, I'm not sure what he thought. Just like he was accepting of it, of course, just a little confused.
Yeah. I think that I've come into that, is that people who they're like accepting of it, but they have a lot of questions about it. And like, I'm cool with answering questions about like being non-binary. Yeah. But I can't answer for every single non-binary person.
Everyone's different.
It's such a fluid identity that like there's so many different ways to represent yourself. Like the fact that like I'm femme presenting most of the time is not uncommon amongst non-binary black non-binary people, but there are like, again, like trans non-binary people, and I can't really speak to their experiences because I don't know what it's like to align more to the masculine identity very much. But I feel like you probably do because you have aligned more with your masculine identity before.
Yeah.
So yeah. I would ask you, what is it like being black and non-binary, but I am the only black friend you got right now.
You're not, but man, well, I'm not really that. I didn't really grow up with the black side of my family, so it was I don't know. Like I'd like to be more in touch with my black side. It's just hard. Saying growing up, people are always like, you're not black enough for us.
Yeah.
So
I feel like you may have missed out on a lot of, especially like Black American culture, just because of their exclusionary aspect to it. And there is a community amongst black non-binary people, but again, it's very difficult to do that because it's kind of, again, we're still progressing. We're not all the way there. So
cue sad anime music.
So yeah. We're gonna cut that out, but that's okay. But yeah, so like I don't know if you had like a lot of experience with like being in community with black non-binary people.
No, can't say I have. Because even like my black friends now, they're queer, but they're not non-binary. They're just more, I'm lesbian or I'm trans. It's not. Yes, it's still an experience, but it's not the same. It's not one that I can relate to, that we can help each other with.
That makes sense. I don't think I have a lot of friends who are non-binary and in any sense people of color other than you, but like I don't have a lot of people who understand that the intersectionality of those two cultures, or the two I don't really know what to call them, I guess cultures, it's a really messy place to be in. And like, yeah, I have friends who are non-binary, but they're white.
Yeah, it's not the same experience.
Yeah. Like, it's cool. Like, we've had so many technical difficulties. Anyway, continuing on with this conversation. So yeah, I don't have a lot of experience with non-white, non-binary people. I hope to. I hope to grow a community where there are other non-binary peoples of other races and cultures and whatnot, and just with everyone.
Yeah.
Hopefully there will be more representation for Vietnamese non-binary people.
Yeah.
We will see.
Yeah. Time will tell.
Time will tell. Yeah. So other than that, it's the Ramen Bowl, so we're gonna talk about anime because it's the Ramen Bowl. Ready? You ready for that? Cool. So, how much of a fan of anime are you, man?
I didn't say I'm a big fan, but like recently, work.
Oh, you're a poser.
No, I just haven't had time.
Okay.
I haven't had time, man. Work is busy and stressful.
What are your beginnings as an anime fan? Like, what do you remember watching?
D and Angel, Trigun, and then Inuyasha, and then Naruto.
You watch Naruto?
Yes.
I'd never watched. I couldn't get to it. I couldn't do it. It's so long. It's so long.
Oh, it's so good.
Inuyasha, I definitely want to go back to. I remember watching it on like Adult Swim, like seeing it on Adult Swim as a kid. I think my first anime was like Fairy Tail.
I'm watching Fairy Tail now with my partner because other than like a few clips here and there, I've never actually seen it.
It's good.
Yeah, I'm loving it.
It's pretty good. I will say, you're probably gonna get so fucking mad at Lucy because
I've been mad at Lucy.
I'm so pissed off with Lucy all the time. So those were your first. What's your favorite anime
Of all time?
of all time?
If I had to pick. Yu Yu Hakusho.
Really?
It's my baby. Yep.
Yu Yu Hakusho?
Yep.
I thought you were gonna say Inuyasha, but
Hell no!
really?
No! Like, Inuyasha is good, but...
What is your favorite part about Yu Yu Hakusho?
Literally everything. Like, I remember reading the manga. And just, I don't know. Just something about it. Just the vibes, the artwork. Just the 90s style anime.
Yeah.
Like, really...
90s style anime is really...
Yeah.
It's good. What's your favorite genre of anime?
Horror. And, like, psychological thriller.
I do like horror.
Anime. And then isekai.
My partner's so into isekai.
I know!
You guys love isekai. And like it's every single isekai that comes out, I end up watching it anyway. Because he loves it. Yeah. So what are you watching any right now? Besides Fairy Tail?
No, I have a few on my list. Just haven't got around to it.
Have you kept up with any of the recent ones? Like, I know Attack on Titan. I don't know if did it finish?
I don't know. I still need to watch season 4. Like, I'm caught up in the manga, but not in the show.
I haven't even read the manga. I'm gonna get to it. Eventually. I got so many light novels that I have to read. I watched Classroom of the Elite, and I found out that has a light novel, and I was like, I'm gonna read that light novel, but there's already like 16 other light novels that I have to read.
It's getting backlogged.
Yeah, so like, I'll get to it eventually, but like, give me a second. I also just recently learned how to read manga. I am not like, I'm not an old school fan of anime and manga. I am very much like, I just got here. I used to make fun of you people. That was the time. That's not true. I didn't make fun of the anime fans. I was lighthearted picking.
Allegedly.
No. I wasn't your bully, okay? Jesus Christ, I wasn't the one that bullied you.
I became best friends with you as my bully.
I wasn't your bully. I was just mean. That's different. But yeah, thank you guys for showing up, showing out. Please look at the description below if you want to like see some more of the podcast, see some more ramen bowls. There's going to be more ramen bowls kind of like this one. We're kind of branching out besides just doing anime. It's going to be everything that has to do with me, my life, or the lives of people around me, or media, music, movies, and of course anime. We're always going to come back to anime. But yeah, thanks for being on the show. We're gonna go eat ramen. A couple things. One, there is nothing in this video that you get to debate about. I will delete your comments. Just saying. If you want to fight about it, you don't get to put it in the comments this time. We're not fighting about gender identity in the comments. This isn't about that. If you want to disagree, please repost and disagree on your own pages. Give me views. But yeah. Bye.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, guys.